Today we are taking you on another field trip, and we're going to Fernley. I know you've heard me talk about Fernley. I don't think we've actually done a video or taken you out to Fernley. And if you're not sure where Fernley is, hopefully you saw the video we did about talking about all the surrounding areas. But Fernley is about 30 miles east of the Reno Sparks area. And Fernley's roughly it's pushing towards 25,000 people that live out that way. And what's happening now is Fernley's gotten much more popular and much busier because halfway between Fernley and the Reno Sparks area is USA Parkway. And if you haven't heard us talking about USA Parkway, that is the turnoff that you go now, which is going to be one of the biggest industrial parks in all of the country. And all these tech companies, including the Teslas of the world, that's where they are, is out off of USA Parkway. And so for a lot of people that we talk about housing affordability all the time, that are having a hard time maybe affording the Reno Sparks area because it's a little more expensive than areas like Fernley, what I wanted to do today was take you out to Fernley, show you one of our current listings that went on the market for $439,000 that shockingly to me and to us, it was like multiple offers sold really quickly, even in today's market and today's environment. And so, as we're always trying to find affordable housing for everybody that isn't, too far away, this is another one of those areas like Dayton or Carson that a lot of people are not always thinking about, that actually can work really well for you if you don't mind being a little more outlying and a little more in a small town. Some people really enjoy that. And if you do, then this is the video for you. So again, we're gonna take you out here, show you a cool little house, walk you through a little bit of neighborhoods, and tell you all the things you need to know about what it might be like to live in Fernley, Nevada. So we're now in the actual neighborhood that this house right over here is for sale for basically $439,900, and it was sold for full price. And you can see in this neighborhood, this is the kind of houses you're gonna see that are basically built, like the one we're selling is built in 2003. So these are all early 2000s homes. And the prices will vary and jump around a little bit because some of these homes are gonna need some water heaters and furnaces and maybe exterior paint or a new roof. And so these are the kind of neighborhoods, again though, but for $439,000, super clean, nice landscaping, kind of quiet. We're literally about 3 or 4 minutes back to the freeway. If you're driving from here, let's say all the way back to the Reno Tahoe airport, you're looking at about a 45 to 50 minute drive. Certain times of day, of course, and weather, that will depend on that. But like I said, nice and quiet, parking, sidewalks, all the things that you'd hopefully be able to see in a neighborhood where, again, $440,000 for a house that's almost 1,900 square feet, and you'll see when it's inside. Does it need a little TLC? There's a few things that we probably would want to do if you're moving into it. It could use a little cleanup, maybe a little paint, and you'll see as we walk around, it's not all set up perfectly. But if you're looking for something that has a big 3-car garage with 2 doors, I mean, check this out. Lots of room for your parking, lots of room for your toys. For example, on this house, the furnace has been replaced. This is not the original furnace. So again, in these neighborhoods, you'll start to see some of these things that will affect the price for something that's the exact same size. But again, if you loop around, look how big this is. Automatic sprinklers, nice grass. You got a big backyard, which we'll show you here more towards the end of the video. But for $440,000 in Northern Nevada, and you're really not that far out of town, there are lots of options for people. So sometimes for someone who may never have heard of Fernley or doesn't know much about it, these are some options that we're trying to bring to you to show you today. And you can obviously go online and Google, Fernley, Nevada, and learn a lot of the information about it. And what's cool of it is if you're looking for something that's a small town. So for many people, Reno Sparks might feel way too big for them, or maybe you're retired. There's a golf course, community out here as well. So we have some clients who live on the golf course out here. There's lots of different options. We have one of our other clients who moved here from Hawaii years ago, bought a stucco, much more modern custom house. And at that time, his house probably now sells in the $700,000 to $800,000. So you can spend a little more, but for the people that are more affordability issues, which we're trying to bring you a lot of stuff lately between $400,000 and $600,000, this is a really great option. So let's walk you around and let's show you the inside. So if you're someone who's thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, do me a favor. Click the link in the description below. You get a copy of our free buyer's guide that'll help get this process started so that you can know all the things you need to know on your journey to Northern Nevada. So as usual, when you're watching our video, city's on the camera. There's a couple of steps here, so I'm gonna want her to be careful. But you got a giant mature tree, some bushes, some grass. And again, if you look at some of this, what's called DG in our area, it needs a little cleanup, a little TLC. And it's funny because they actually made this walkway shared with their neighbor's front area. So I don't know if they're friends with that. Technically, the middle of that walkway would start to be the next person's property. Why don't we come on in, take a look inside. You got this nice porch area. And again, it needs a little cleaning, but for the most part, minimal, easy stuff that you can do. And now as you come in through the front door, this area right here with the chandelier is technically the dining room, but this is one of those houses that has the, what I call great room concept, gas fireplace, sliding glass door leads you out to the back. And if you kind of pan at the floor for a second, Sid, you can show them, they just did all this great new LVP floor that you're starting to see everywhere that looks real nice. It's not crazy expensive, and it just really is having people rip out all those carpets, okay? The kitchen, what's really nice about this house is, you got the tile counters, which are really nice, but they have redone all the appliances. So in a $440,000 house, you got LG microwave, you got new ovens, and you got a really nice refrigerator. So all this was not the original stuff. It would have been probably some white, really low-end materials, but they've done all the changing, all this. And these cabinets, I know not everyone's always an oak fan, but these are much more heavy duty than you see in some of the more modern $600,000 and $700,000 to $800,000 homes that are a little more flimsy. These are just more well built. I had these in my first 2 homes, as a matter of fact. But stainless steel sink, same thing here. You got a new dishwasher. And this is a good sized kitchen off of this room as Sydney turns and pans around, for a house that's 20 plus years old. So I just think it's a really good option for a lot of people. Okay. And again, the dining room area, you don't necessarily need to use it as a dining room. I have seen this on some of these houses where the wall will come off a little further here and they've turned this more into an enclosed area. I think it looks much better open this way. But if you walk around, you'll start to notice, especially like, for example, if we show you the laundry room as you come around, it had a washer and dryer in here before, and you can start to see the paint's a little, mismatch. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done on the bottom. But for the most part, that's super easy, minimal dollar stuff to be able to do. Okay? And as Sid is going this way, right off the front, there's one bedroom. We call them the kid bedrooms. You can just walk up there. You don't need me to. They're the kid bedrooms right off the front of the house. A lot of times this would be the bedroom that people turn into an office. But for somebody who's got, I say younger than teenage kids, great. There's also an evaporative cooler on this house along with the air conditioner that's in the wall on this particular house. And as you swing your way back here, your typical house. You're gonna have the nice hall bathroom. So Sydney can show you the hall bathroom, and you'll see they redid some of the trim work on the baseboard in there. There's some wood baseboard. They got a nice tile floor in there. Those shower inserts are the same inserts you see in houses all over town. And as we go into kid bedroom number 2, your classic typical setup there. And then into a really large master suite. Now this master suite does have a gas fireplace, but there are times where this house will be 4 bedrooms, where there'd be another door and the fireplace wouldn't be here, and then this section would be another bedroom. So this exact square footage, sometimes you'll see it as a 4-bedroom house versus a 3-bedroom house, because otherwise this made this a really big master suite area that also has a slider that leads you out onto the back patio. And then Sydney will show you in the laundry room, you've got the shower, you've got the garden bathtub. I'm pretty sure on this one as we walk in there that you've got dual separate vanities and a walk-in closet. And actually it's not, it's 2 sinks on one. And then behind her is the master walk-in closet. So you can see there's lots of good features for a house that literally is going to close later this week. By the time you guys see this video, it'll already be closed for $439,000. And this one's got the nice tile floors in the areas where there's usually going to be more water. So a lot of times that LVP flooring is great, but sometimes in the bathrooms they'll put in some sort of more hard surface where that LVP is a little softer. And then this leads you right into the backyard. And this one does not have grass. It's got the curbing. It is set up for grass, but they put a nice big gazebo area in, and it's fully landscaped. You got a dual gate there that leads you out to the main drag. So if someone really wanted to have RV access, they could. And you've also got space over here. They created as a dog run for people. So your dog has access off the garage right there. And you got plenty of space. But if you come this way, It'll lead you right back into that kitchen area. So you've got double sliding glass doors. So as always, like to bring Sydney on because Sydney is the one that is literally driving buyers around, showing them the areas, coming out this way. And so we had a lot of people recently that have been looking out in Fernley?
Yeah, not too many recently, but early on in my real estate career, there was a lot of people looking out in Fernley. And a lot of the time what people wanted to come out here for was further away from the city, so you get a little bit slower of a small town life. You are further away from all of the noise, all of the traffic.
The hustle and bustle.
But you also are farther away from Reno. You're farther away from Tahoe. You're farther away from Mount Rose. So that is a little bit a drawback of being out here. And sometimes certain amenities like Costco, for example, or bigger stores like that, you will have to go back to Reno and Sparks for. But other than that, a lot of the time people are coming out here because they just want to be quiet.
Yeah, so if you're looking for that, I mean, I realize there's a Walmart shopping center. You have most of the normal everyday things, but some of the big box chain things. But again, the nice part is from here to the airport is about 45 minutes. There is a Costco right there. There's also a Costco in Sparks. So really to get back to like a big giant Home Depot shopping center, the one we always talk about off Pyramid Highway, it really is only about 30, 35 minutes depending on where in Fernley you live, because Fernley is a little bit spread out, but it definitely operates like a small town. This is one of the areas that is a different school district as well. So you're not in that normal Washoe County big school district. This is Lyon County out here. So it's one high school. I think there might be only one middle school. There's going to be a handful of elementary schools. But again, price-wise, if people are looking price-wise, the buyers you've brought out here, what have they usually been looking to spend?
Yeah, it's been interesting because you can kind of run the gambit a little bit because you can find nice houses like this in a little bit lower of the price point versus some of the homes that you're starting to see. There is a little bit of new construction that's gone in out here that D.R. Horton had built. So you can find new construction here, and you can also find homes in the 600s and 700s, sometimes even pushing a little bit higher than that, but a lot of those are going to be more almost like custom ranchettes a little bit further out towards the city limits of Fernley. But in town, you can kind of find whatever you want, and they're going to be a little bit smaller out here. There aren't really going to be super massive houses like you'll see in parts of Reno, but yeah, I mean, people just kind of spread the board a little bit.
And for people that are trying to get outlying areas, I know sometimes they'll go south to Carson. It seems like Carson either has really old or new, where in Fernley you can get a little more of this stuff that was built in the 90s and 2000s. And I just think for a lot of people, especially if you're someone who's working off of USA Parkway, is a really good option for you. If you're trying to figure out where in Northern Nevada you might want to live, do me a favor. Check out this video we did right here that gives you an all-inclusive maps area of the nearby cities, nearby areas, and where places like Fernley in today's video exactly are.